Good evening and welcome to tonight's show from DJNTV, Disc Jockey News TV. Tonight's show is brought to you by Electra Voice, DJ Event Planner, DJ Trivia, Odyssey Innovative Designs and Cases, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, and the DJNTV Insiders.
DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
There you are.
Every time. All right, welcome everybody. Thank you very much for checking us out Monday night, and we're back. We're back, and Shani's back with us. And for those of you that are like, what are you talking about? You guys were never gone. Last week, weather and internet gods frowned on us, and said we couldn't be here. And then 2 weeks ago, I think Shani, you were just gone, like you were out under the weather. So we are so glad that you're back. And for those of you that are going, wait a minute, I thought we weren't doing 5 on it anymore. We're not. Our illustrious leader clicked the wrong button. So it's okay though, because we're going to talk about oranges or pears or something like that tonight, as well as, some hot music that you definitely need to make sure that you're aware of, because you've got some events coming up, I'm sure. And if not, well, then you just want some good stuff to listen to. So without further ado, what is the fruit we are talking about this evening?
So is kumquat a fruit? Is that a fruit, kumquat? I just wanted to say the word kumquat. I don't know if it's a fruit or not.
It sounds like it.
Okay, well, let's just stick with that. All right, so for those that kind of have been living under a rock today and haven't been on any social media whatsoever, everybody is talking about iTunes. And I would say 90% of the people aren't even reading anything, or maybe they're just reading like the first 2 lines of every article.
Clickbait.
Or video. Yeah. So I'm here to kind of let you guys know in a condensed format what that means for the DJs with all of iTunes. And it's not just people that use Mac. It's iTunes is universal for everything. So I'm going to let you guys know what's going on with iTunes. And I apologize now if I'm going to be in a coughing jag. If I do, I'm muting my microphone, and Dan's going to have to kind of take over for a little bit until I can put the microphone back on. But I'm still really under the weather with a lot of stuff going on. But I definitely had to come and do the show about iTunes for you guys. And we haven't done hot music in a couple weeks. So some of you might be behind with some Shani's hot music. So let's get into the iTunes thing, Dan.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. So let's just back it up to when iTunes started. So it started literally 2 decades ago. That's when it came out. That's when iTunes launched. So it launched the music industry, and of course, everybody's like, iTunes is no more. Well, that is kind of correct, because the word iTunes is no more. So for those that are saying, oh, we can't do anything through iTunes, that is incorrect. But the word iTunes itself, that is going to be out. So that's why when people are saying iTunes is dead, iTunes is killing, like Apple's killing iTunes, it's correct in that format, but not in the whole format of what we're thinking. So let's just break it down really quick for you guys so you don't have to read those crazy articles and watch the 30-minute videos and everything. That's what DJNTV Monday night is about for you guys. So basically what's going to happen is iTunes is being replaced with 3 separate apps. So you're going to have the music app, the TV app, and the podcast app, which, as we all know, if you use iTunes for anything or even just browse through iTunes, if you go on trips and you want to download stuff and buy things, they're already there in iTunes. But now, like we said, Apple is killing iTunes, and you're just going to have those 3 separate apps now. So you're going to have the music app. And I say the music app, which means you still can get your music, people. So you're going to have the music app, you're going to have the TV app, and you're going to have the podcast app. So basically, for those that don't really follow Apple or anything, they have removed all their social media posts from the official iTunes account. Yes, iTunes had its own social media accounts. So they on Facebook and Instagram, they actually removed it. So if you go on there, it's going to say no posts, which means they deleted their content. So this is like legit. They're like, when we say we want to kill this off, we're killing it off. We're doing it Scarface style. We're killing it off. There will be nothing to look at the history from this. So back to the apps. Let's just go back to the apps. So it makes a lot of sense because Apple services have kind of outgrown the iTunes in particular with everything that's going on now with the streaming service and everything. It's time, like I said, it's been 2 decades. So it's time for them to just kind of move forward. So like I said, they're doing the 3 separate apps. They're doing music, TV, and podcasts. And they're also doing an upcoming OS update, which is going to be 10.15. And I'll kind of talk about that in a little bit, but it's going to make it a lot easier for anybody that has iPads and iPhones to have these 3 separate apps now. So with the update, everything is going to kind of make sense. I know a lot of us hate change. I know some of the OGs are like, oh my God, now I got to change something else. And we all hate doing it, but they're trying to make it easy for everybody. So if you guys remember when Steve Jobs announced iTunes back in 2001 at the Macworld Expo, he pitched it as a so-called jukebox software. Everybody kind of laughed about it, but that's exactly what like iTunes was. It was a jukebox software, but we've outgrown it. So that's why we've been talking about this for, I think, over a year, Dan. I think we brought this up. Yeah, I think we brought it up like over a year ago. So what does all this mean now for the DJ world? That's what we really care about.
Less about the consumer. Who cares, right?
Like we really care about it because there are people now. I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't buy music off iTunes. I don't do this. But you have to understand some people with their DJ software, they actually go through iTunes to put it together, which people don't understand. I know there's people with Serato, with Rekordbox, with stuff that do their collections in iTunes. That's why a lot of DJs are freaking out. They're not freaking out because they can't buy music, which they still can. They're freaking out because, which a lot of other DJs don't see the full picture, they kind of just see it this way, is a lot of people use iTunes for their collections. So let's get into that. So what's going to happen is you're still going to be able to purchase music, movies, and TV shows. You're just going to do that through the apps. So if you were like, oh, my favorite show for recreational, still be able to do that. So they're not killing the MP3 downloads, people. You will still be able to do that. So stop talking about that. Like, I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be, you know who you are. Not going to be able to do this. You will still be able to get the MP3s, okay? Even though the digital music world kind of has fallen down due to like all the streaming, which we have talked about on numerous shows before, you will still be able to download music through iTunes. So we'll start with that for people that just get like that one crazy song that they can't find anywhere, not on any of their record pools. You'll still be able to go there if that's where you went for iTunes. Now, also, which is really nice. If anybody who ever used Serato DJ or Rekordbox or Traktor, if you guys ever heard of Record Buddy 2. Some people use Record Buddy too. Well, Record Buddy 2 is an app, and you can transfer your DJ playlist and your cue points and your beat grids and everything in between your different Tractor, Serato, and Rekordbox. So if you use those different softwares, there's a lot of times where people are like, well, if I upload my whole thing of music, I don't have the cue points. I don't have this. Like, and I remember I talked about it with Engine Prime with those two, like when you put it in there and you wait and it analyzes it, all that comes up. Well, Record Buddy 2, soon, not now, but soon, you'll be able to use it in the iTunes app as well. So they are, and I don't want to call it like the iTunes app. It's not that. It's like the iTunes Music Library, the music app of that. You'll be able to use that as well for your music catalogs as well. So that's really good for some DJs that use that kind of things, and they use their iTunes for their music library. And Apple Music, the app, it's going to look similar to the way iTunes. So it's not going to change drastically where you click on it and you're going to be like, oh my God, where is everything? How do I download music? Where's my library? Where's that? They said they kind of want to keep the format. It's just going to be cleaner and it's going to be easier. So there's going to be less media tabs up on the top, but you'll still have the library. You'll still have the tab like for you still have browse. You'll still have the radio. You still have the store, and and then now on that one, you'll be able to browse through Apple Music as well. So that's going to be included in the music app. You'll be able to browse through the Apple Music. So the big thing that I keep talking about for those DJs that were using or still are using iTunes for their music collection, if you've been using iTunes to manage your DJ library, don't panic for those that have been doing it. Don't think like now you're going to have to change and you're going to have to put it into a folder and on a hard drive, you're going to have this and after that. If you've been using the iTunes library to manage your DJ library, you will still be able to access it using the new Apple Music app. So that is good for DJs, because I know the ones that were freaking out for that reason, which everybody else didn't understand, because they're like, well, get your music somewhere, use a record pool. And that's not what they were freaking out about. They were freaking out about because they manage their music library through there. So you'll still be able to do it. It'll just be through the Apple Music app that you'll have on your laptop. And if you're a Mac user, then the latest OS that's going to be coming out this month, I think it's called Catalina, it will already have it on it. So if you're getting a new computer, you're doing this, you'll already have that music app and you'll be able to just put everything into there. So don't freak out. And for those that have the Windows PCs, the Apple Music will also be available for you guys. So if you're not a Mac user, you still use the iTunes to manage your DJ library. You still will be able to do that through the app on there. And remember, it's called the Apple Music app. So iTunes kind of now, for us, we could say it's called the Apple Music app, even though that iTunes is dead, but that's what it's called. So the DJ app will be, you could access it through the Apple Music library, just like you did for iTunes, even though there was no official announcement for the DJs. I'm letting you guys know, stop panicking. Shani and DJNTV is letting you know, the Monday night show with Dan and Shani and John, that you guys will be able to do it. So I hope that kind of puts some people's mind at ease when they read the headlines that says iTunes is dead, they're killing iTunes. Well, it's correct. It's not going to be called iTunes anymore. Just like in Chicago, they're not calling it the Sears Tower anymore. It's now the Willis Tower, but we still call it the Sears Tower. It's changed. Things are changing.
Change is okay.
Change is okay.
I personally would love to talk to somebody sometime. Not now, obviously, because in the chat room they were talking and kind of adding their 2 cents. And I never used iTunes for organizing my music collections. Never went down that path. Heard of it, but never understood the draw to it. Yeah. A couple of people were saying, if I update it here, it automatically updates in the program. Right. I get that, but if I'm updating, I'm just updating in the program. Like that's my mentality on it. But I personally, this was fine for me. They could have taken the whole thing away. The only time I ever used the program is when I had to actually put stuff on my phone or put stuff on my iPad. That's the only time I use it. So I would love to understand it. Yeah, I'm old school, John. I don't care. It's one of those things where I get that and I get that idea. I don't know. And maybe it's because I'm PC based So maybe there's also within that idea, I'm not really, to me, it didn't serve much purpose.
Yeah,
but
I know a lot of DJs that, in fact, when I went digital, I asked like a lot of my mentors, and it was kind of a 50-50 for me. A lot of them were saying they do their music, organization through iTunes because it was a lot easier it was just a simple way to organize it. And a lot of other people are like, no, don't go through iTunes. If you're going internal, put it on a folder in here. So for me, it was kind of like that toss up of what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? But I still know a ton of DJs. I know some people even said in the chat room that that's what they do. It's just easy for them, which it is. It's very easy to organize those folders through iTunes. So like I said, it's not iTunes anymore. You still will be able to do it, but it's now the music app on it. So don't freak out. And if anybody is talking negative stuff about it, now you can say that the truth of what you can do with the music library, and you could kind of tell them whatever you want to say too. But I hope that makes sense for everybody. It's going to be, it's rolling out, especially now if anybody's buying a new Mac, it'll be already on the updated one with the new OS. And they just, like I said, it's been 2 decades. When Steve Jobs made the announcement, it was just a jukebox. It was kind of, like if you guys remember, it was for the iPods.
Yeah.
That's what we all used it for. We all, made our little lists and made music on our iPods. We were our own little jukebox, and it's outgrown that, so they want to just separate it to be like, okay, people that want to do music. And for those that have iPhones, it's already kind of separated on our phones. I remember when I did an update, I don't know, it was a year ago or something. I was like, where's my iTunes on my phone? Where's my iTunes on my phone? And I realized it was just a music app. And because I was freaking out with some of the, I made a folder in my iTunes that was called like backup. And it had like my backup sets on there. God forbid something happens and my other equipment didn't work, when you just plug your phone in so you can figure something out. And I was like, where's my backup music? And then I realized it's in the music app. So people just have to know everything will be in the music app for you. So don't freak out, people.
Well, and I think, kind of like what you said also, by breaking it down to the 3 apps, you get exactly what you're looking for. It's not overly bogged down with, if you're not into podcasts. All right. So you don't have to worry about that being in your music or in your iTunes anymore. It's removed, it's taken away. So that kind of frees up. It frees up some space and frees up some complexity, because we all like simple. We want simple.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. There's
all right.
The whole iTunes update.
I'm just reading the chat and John. So on that note, we got to talk music, because, in 3 weeks, there's definitely got to be some hot songs that if you weren't knowing about them, you need to know.
Yes, that is correct. So I know we've talked about this 7 weeks in a row, and this is going to be the 8th week that I'm letting those who have not jumped on the bandwagon yet. But just so you know, Old Town Road is number 1 for the 8th week. And if you think that you're playing to a crowd of 4-year-olds, it's not going to work, then you have not seen the viral video of Lil Nas X going into the elementary school and singing it on stage, and the whole entire elementary school went bananas and was singing every word with him. So yes, the kids to the adults go crazy for it. Again, I don't care if it's not your cup of tea. We've talked about this numerous times. We don't play for ourselves. We play for our crowds. If you have such a problem playing all of these songs that you don't like, then think about doing something else. Honestly, because I see the posts all over Facebook. Oh, I don't like playing that music. I hate this. I hate that. I don't care. I play it and get paid for it. So I'm going to have a smile on my face and I'm going to do my little Old Town Road dance with them. So yes. And then also make sure that if you're new to the Old Town Road bandwagon, that you get the version that has Billy Ray in it, even though the original came out. But you know how people are, like when Despacito came out, people were freaking out that you didn't play the Justin Bieber version. So make sure you play the Billy Ray version with that. So that is still number 1, people, 8 weeks. So anyone like me that's doing events every single day and every single night because of the graduations and the lock-ins and all that stuff, make sure it's on your playlist. You're probably going to be playing it like 3 and 4 times, just so you know.
And if you're that concerned about it, it's only like 2.5 minutes total.
Yeah, now you won't play the whole song,
right? That
it's even all the remixes, like even all my versions of it, none of them are over like 2:45 at all.
Yeah, you're not getting your pee break in during that song.
No,
just saying.
Not. You maybe a good swig of like your water, and then think about what you're playing next, but that's about it. So so please make sure you got that one. Tyler, the Creator, for those that aren't really into like the hip hop stuff, he just came out with a new album. So if you're into like the urban and the hip hop crowd, his new album just hit #1 on Billboard's 200. So be prepared if you play those type of requests, especially now with the graduation parties and the end of school parties and the pool parties and stuff like that. And if you're doing the teen events and the young urban crowd, they will ask for Tyler, the Creator. So definitely look into that if you're into those type of crowds. Country. Yes, I know I don't talk about country, but I figure if I'm doing Shani's picks and they're hot, I got to make sure, just like you guys, I got to make sure I'm on top with all the music. Kane Brown, one of the very hot artists. And I actually know who he is. He debuted he's got a #1 album. This is his 4th not album, it's song. This is his 4th #1 song, and it's on the country airplay charts, and it's called Good As You. So if you are playing to the country crowd, that definitely is going to be one of the songs that you will need. Like I said, it's #1 right now. So definitely make sure that you got Kane Brown, Good As You. And if you're playing, again, to kind of like the crossover crowd of the pop and the urban, the artist Lizzo is a very hot artist right now. Actually, her songs are even on commercials. So if you don't have, she's got a ton of songs out there because of her album. But if you don't have Juice, make sure you have the song Juice. If you were to just play like one Lizzo song to make like your party happy or your client happy or whatever, or everybody come up and they keep saying like, play Lizzo, just make sure you have the song Juice.
It's catchy.
Very hot song. Very catchy song. Like I said, it's mainstream on commercials on TV as well. So make sure you guys have it. Like I said, I'm giving you guys, I know people are dropping some songs like in the chat room, and that's awesome for you guys, but I'm giving you guys like the hot songs that are like just popped off the charts. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not giving you like past songs and stuff like that, but I'm giving you like what you need to know if you're going into the weekend. And, as we all know, because of streaming services and everything, people like the hottest songs. So that definitely are like the hot songs. And then just to kind of give you just a little bit heads up as it is, couple songs dropped this weekend. They're probably going to be might just be your cup of tea or not your cup of tea for that. Katy Perry just came out with a song. It's called Never Really Over. I'll let you guys decide. And if you like it, don't like it. But we'll see what happens when next week when I tell you guys what's hot. Miley Cyrus just came out with a new song. It's called Mother's Daughter. So and these songs dropped on Friday. So that's when I say they're new, they are brand.
Well, and with the Katy Perry song, iHeart did every hour on the hour, and then Hits One, I think, was doing it every hour all weekend long through this past weekend. So
Dan's letting you know.
High rotation on the Katy Perry for sure. I hadn't heard about the Miley one as much, but they weren't pushing it quite the same. So.
Okay, so just like I've kind of just not been listening to radios or Sirius or anything. So Dan, to let you know, Katy Perry is mainstream radio play. Mm-hmm. So that is called Never Really Over. So check that one out. Cardi B just dropped her brand new track called Press. So if you have those crowds and even the teens and stuff that are into the Cardi B, yes, there are clean versions out of that, just like all the other songs. That's probably going to get requested soon. John Legend came out with a new song this weekend too, and it's called We Need Love. That dropped on Friday. And another good one that just dropped on Friday is Chainsmokers featuring BB Rexa, sorry, I just gave her a new last name, BB Rexa, and that's called Call You Mine. So I'll let you guys know how those are next week, but those literally just dropped. So if you're like me and you have all the graduation parties and everything every single day this week, and somebody's like, hey, play the new Cardi B, and you're playing what just happened and not press, they're asking for press. And like Dan said with the Katy Perry, they're not asking for the one with Informer in it. They're asking for Katy Perry's song that literally just dropped this weekend. So just to kind of give you guys, that's hot music that literally just came out on Friday. So check those out. I'll let you guys know how they're in the rotation. Next week, I might turn around and say to you guys, yeah, these aren't climbing the charts. Just Katy Perry is. But just to kind of give you guys a heads up, so you know going into your weekend events, what's happening music wise.
Exactly. One of two songs or two things, one song and another idea. I don't remember if we talked about this the last time or not, but another hot one that I'm going to throw into the mix is Ed Sheeran and Justin Bieber.
Yeah, I think that was going to be on my list for last week. And yeah. I actually played that all last week.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely played it at all my events all last week. So that is definitely a hot song.
Yeah. And I mean, you got to think about it. Both of them come in with just stay power on their own. And then you throw them together and it's like, all right, of course you got to play it. But then the second thing, and this goes not so much to hot, but also, kind of to past hot, I guess, if you will. This was something that I want to say it was MJ, or maybe it was with you, Shani, that we talked about one time, that this is the time of year where if you're looking to throw in some like recurrence or some throwbacks, look at stuff that was popular during the summer 5-6 years ago. Because when you come around and you flash back to it at the same time it was out the first time when it was hot, it has that strong power, has a better connection than, say, if I played a song that came out in June, but I played it in December 6 years later. It has a different, it resonates differently. So just kind of throwing that out there. If you're looking for stuff for this weekend that you want to say, okay, how can I work some older stuff in? Look for stuff that was popular this time X amount of years ago.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just for you guys that are new to it, this is also going on YouTube, so you guys will be able to watch it if you need to catch the songs again, or if you just want to know about iTunes again, because you're like, well, Shani said, and then you got to rewind it to say what Shani said. But again, I'm just going to go over it really quick for those that we're talking about in the chat. Old Town Road with Billy Ray, 8th week, #1. Please make sure you have it no matter what. Tyler, the Creator, if you're into the hip hop and the urban sets, dropped a new album. It's #1. So if you do that kind of stuff, he's going to get those are going to get requested.
Sorry to interrupt. Is there any particular songs that are getting pushed yet?
No, it's kind of all over the place.
Okay. Kind of like Khaled.
Yeah. Khalid,
okay.
Yeah. Kind of like with him, Talk is like probably his biggest one. Talk.
No, I'm sorry. DJ Khalid. No.
Oh, DJ. Yeah. DJ Khaled.
Thank you. I was saying it wrong, but I can fix that up.
DJ Khaled. Yeah, I was going to go through. If you guys want, I'll go through his album next week for you guys and tell you guys like the hot songs off of there. I was going to do that. And I was like, I don't want to go through DJ Khaled. But yes, I'll go through that one for you guys. Country wise, even if you just throw in a couple, if you don't do a lot of country stuff, but you just throw in those little couple there, just to please those 5 people that are at the party so they could smile. Kane Brown, it's #1 on the country airplay charts, and it's called Good As You. And then, like I said, Lizzo, her whole album is on fire, but just make sure you have the song Juice. It's R&B, it's mainstream, it's hip hop, and it's also commercialized on TV. So everybody knows that song. And then, like I said, the new music that just dropped this weekend, we don't really have the numbers for those, but Dan said when I brought up the Katy Perry Never Really Over, that's just getting major airplay. So that's probably going to be hitting the charts. Check that one out. I said Miley Cyrus came out with a new song, Mother's Daughter. Haven't really heard feedback, but that one just came out. Cardi B came out with a new song called Press. So when people ask you for the new Cardi B, that's the one they're talking about. Please make sure you get the clean version if you do those type of events. They definitely have them on the record pools. John Legend came out with We Need Love, and Chainsmokers with BB Rexa came out with Call You Mine. So those dropped all on Friday. Don't have stats for you guys, but like Dan said, the one that he really heard about this whole weekend was the Katy Perry one.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Awesome.
I don't know
Awesome.
how many times
Awesome.
I have to take a sip. I
don't count in chat room.
Do we count chat, especially if it comes from John? Do we count that?
We have to count it in the video. We don't count it in the.
Oh, now he's doing hashtags too.
Just trying to be trendy.
I missed that. Oh, there it is, the hashtag. I was reading his new t-shirt. T-shirt, yeah. Oh my.
You could have those made for Atlantic City.
That would be awesome.
That would be funny.
I would wear that.
You know what? I would wear that. I would actually wear that to DJ.
Yeah.
I would wear that to DJ just to do it. I love that he knew when Mega Seg started. Oh, I didn't mean to say it, but I did. So it started a year before iTunes.
Yeah. Oh my.
John with the hashtag. So I hope you guys kind of have more of an understanding and can breathe a little easier with the whole iTunes done and Scarface and the 3 apps that are coming in. For those that do use the, iTunes app for their music libraries, and I know a lot of people with Serato do that. You will still, as of right now, it's not, mentioned. I'm sure Serato will probably come out with something. But I did call some people, and it's not just Shani. Shani just says, I actually did some research today and called some people. I do that every once in a while. And they definitely said, as of right now, you definitely will be able to do it, but we'll give you more updates on it. So I hope that it all helps, and you got some new music since we haven't been around, or I should say I haven't been around either, but I didn't want to miss today's show. With everything going on with me, I just was like, I can sit. I don't want to miss the show. We got to talk about iTunes and new music since we haven't done it in a while.
We missed you.
I know. Thank you.
So one thing I do want to mention, coming up after the show, John recorded a cool video today for you about some of the updates from the Apple reveal, not necessarily related to Apple Music, since we were going to be talking about that. He kind of put that to the side. But a couple of the other things, I think something to deal with noise and cycle, if I remember correctly. But basically, you want to make sure that you are sticking around for that, following the link as well. John, are you going to post it? Is it going to be directly in the same, or will they have to go someplace else?
It's going to be on the YouTube channel, and they can bounce out there to grab that.
Perfect.
And my lights died.
They did. I was wondering.
Oh, it did.
It was darker.
Yeah, my lights just died here, just within moments. But the lights were able to enjoy the moment of the excellent news that I was able to share in the chat room.
Oh my goodness. So the deal is it's on the YouTube channel. John's going to be sharing that video that he created earlier today about a lot of those updates, especially for those people that want to know and don't really feel like going back and watching or reading all the
there's some really cool, besides the DJ stuff I talked about, there's some other, I didn't want to get into that kind of stuff, and knowing that John made the video, there's some really cool updates, especially like if you use your watch with everything, there's some cool stuff that is going to be happening. So
nice.
Check it out.
Nice. So we've got some other shows coming up this week. Of course, you want to make sure you're checking those out. Always got to give the plug for them, because I'm telling you, we've got some great content. If you're new, I was talking to a few people that just, we started talking in some groups, and I said, hey, check us out. So if you're watching tonight, thank you very much. And if you're watching this later, still thank you very much. But also check out some of the other shows, Brian's show coming up tomorrow night, as well as some of the shows that get released throughout the day. Guaranteed great content. And by the way, if you missed it yesterday, and I'm blanking on the guy's name, that we revealed the new one.
Dan Chaney. We've got a couple of new ones that Dan Chaney did the first music charts archive show. If you guys, it's 8 minutes, I believe, somewhere in that ballpark, but it was kind of a cool little look through the top 10 from 1984. And what's neat about it is he shares a little kind of a behind the scenes little story behind some of the songs, which is always kind of neat to do. Then tomorrow night's going to be Brian and Ben. Ben's going to be taking on generators tomorrow night. Generators and inverters. If you've wanted to know, if you want to know about that, he's going to be doing that tomorrow night. And then Brian and I are going to go and compile a squeaky clean list of wedding songs, because there's times now at this time of the year where you get some weddings where they're like, pretty much just not open profanity. We're good. And then this summer, in my case, I have 4 or 5 weddings that are very religious family weddings. And we're going to dig into that and have some fun with that. So then the last is MJ is going to be doing his show this week, his new show, looking at the songs that hit the top 40 and showing you the cue points and such of the song, where he's going to take the songs apart a little bit and showing you that. So it's going to be a busy week. We got a few more things coming at you, and a couple of new shows that are going to be hitting for the summer. So, yay.
Awesome.
And for those that send me messages with ideas and everything for the show, I love it. So please keep the ideas coming in. If, hey, I thought of this, or hey, I saw this. So I love it. So send me all those messages, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, email, whatever. Send them to me, because I love that you guys are thinking about it and thinking about our show and sending those ideas. So we definitely appreciate it on our Monday night show, since we kind of changed it up a little bit.
Yeah. So without further ado, we're going to say goodnight for now. Again, don't forget that video coming up in just a few moments. You want to make sure you check it out so you can see and get up to date on all those other changes that were going on. And we will be back here next Monday celebrating with all of you. So thank you very much. Have a great night.
Good night.